Hi there, and welcome to Democracy Theater, where we explore the intersection between, or crossroad, the between comedy and politics. And again, here we are dealing with a brilliant idiots clip or segment of their show. And this is, I did my own little take on what's going on there in El Salvador, but I see that they have a segment on that as well. So we're going to watch that together, and I will react as we go along. So I don't actually know if you heard all of that, but it wasn't really important. So that's funny in itself, but it's not funny with what's going on. And like that, there are, as far as I understand, at least, well, we know at least one green card holder, at least one, and one naturalized citizen has wrongly been deported so far. What do you think? Because you have a suit on and you say dumb shit, you are not going to call you out for saying dumb shit? Of course you can bring him back. Of course you can bring him back. We're paying you, right? Trump could ask you and you would do it because you're just a client vessel state. So what nonsense is that? You're not smuggling a terrorist. You're handing a guy over that will be deported to you, but we want to do it right. But it doesn't matter what the issue is due process, right? There is no doubt that he would most likely have been deported, and we would have never known his name if the administration had just followed procedures and the law, right? Given him a hearing and says, yeah, you know what? Like, that's cold, but, you know, Andrew is right. That's the price of being in a gang, right? It's not political. It's you're in a gang. So you're not seeking political asylum. So as I said, we would have never known his name if they had just followed the law and procedures. It's not fire. It's a human being. It's not fire. It's a human being. Yeah, and terrorist. He also used the word terrorist, and that word has real. I mean, we got to pay attention to language here, right? Everything is a terrorist. If everything is a terrorist, they can do anything to us. It doesn't matter if he was here illegally. He wasn't afforded the due process that we have established that people like him are entitled to. That's it. And we have to stand up for this shit when it is people that we don't like. Apparently, in his previous relationship, marriage, the guy beat up his wife. But none of that shit matters. Facilitate in legal language uh, ha- means to make happen, to help happen, right? It doesn't facilitate is not it's not as loose as it is when we say it in civilian language, in legal language, and you can look it up in law.com. Facilitate means to make happen. Also, he's that none of all these alleged crimes that he's committed has been proven. The fact that he's in a gang has not been proven. That was just some dude that's been an informant that said that he was, and yeah, it was accepted. But let's be fair here. And again, I believe, given what I know, he would have been deported if, regardless, and I would have never had to know his name. No, but what really should have been pointed out was that Obama killed an American citizen without trial or jury trial of his peers, right? Anwar Akwa, whatever his name was, who was speaking English propaganda from Afghanistan, was killed with a drone, and so was his child, right? So, yes, again, this was all powers that we gave to a president under false pretenses after 9/11, and we have not been given, we have not taken those powers back. And this is just another escalation. in that. We did cry about it back then, right? And the January 6th thing is a complicated thing. I do think that they over prosecuted, and there was that Epstein or no, anything that starts with Ep is suspicious, right? Guy that was pointing and say, "Hey, let's go, everybody go this way, go this way." There was suspicious stuff around that situation, but it wasn't like it didn't happen, and it wasn't like it wasn't the attempt, for at least some. But they should have been much more selective in their prosecution. But at least for some, the attempt was to stop the peaceful transfer of government. We don't know that. We don't know that. It's likely, but we don't know that. So to say that with such conviction is just wrong. Okay, that's fantastic. Then we go to court, you present that, and then you ship him out. And why is he being shipped to a jail? He hasn't committed any crime. Put him on a fucking civilian plane home. It's about due process. It's very, very important, and especially when you take it in. If you take this with the whole Donald Trump wants to send Americans off. If we take away due process from him, the next people in line are the people who are naturalized Americans. So they weren't born here, but they got citizenship after that, and then after that, it's American citizens. Like, what are we doing here? If we're the proverbial frog in that boiling pot? Is it not hot enough yet? Are we not feeling it yet? Like, what the fuck? Nobody is thinking. I don't know. Obviously, I shouldn't speak for the vast majority of people that I have seen, especially on the Twitterverse, right? The political Twitterverse, is that he will most likely be deported, but he has to be put in through the fucking system. He can't just be picked up and then thrown in out and then put to wherever the fuck, and then in a maximum security prison where he went to initially, but he's been taken out of that. That's not what he said. He was just being a cunt because he wants to be like Trump. He has no criminal record. He has no criminal record. He has no, let's say it again, he has no criminal record. Want to deport him the right way. That's all anybody is saying. Can't just fucking bend the law because this is inconvenient. Yeah, but that's the step in that direction. That's the step. It's not about whether, I mean, they're missing the point here. Hasn't been in front of a court. Fantastic. That's right. That's right. That's right. Freedom of speech protection is not for the people with the soft opinions in the middle. They are for the people on the edges of opinions. The same thing with due process. Due process is I mean, it's important for everybody. We all need to be in front of somebody and say, yes, that's okay what the government does. Like this, it's nuts that we have to have these conversations in 2025. Exactly. Yes. Due process. Yeah, of course he does. Thank you. Thank you. Legally. There you go. There you go. There you go. And he stands between us and that. Fucking nuts. Is that the country you want to live in? I think that was I think that was a a really good debate. I think they finally got around to some of the big issues here, but it is incredible. We are standing at the precipice of something really terrible. And I think it's time for us all to kind of wake up. And it's fun to see that a podcast like that and comedians have that kind of conversation and open it up. And it's even more important that it's somebody like Andrew Shults who opens it up because there's a lot of people in the Rogan sphere that also watches him, and it's good to get that information bubble, punctured once in a while, and I thought they were all get reasonable opinions. Again, I think that, of course, that Andrew was wrong. He was here legally, and we all have rights, and we all needs to be somebody needs to make sure that the government is doing the right thing. So, and that's what his due process is. There is something called a rocket socket that can speed up the time that it takes to go through such a thing. Anyway, I thought it was a great segment. Again, the full podcast is Girlies in Space, Corporate Tax Avoidance is Theft, El Salvador Deportation and Confusion. Anyway, fantastic podcast. Thank you. If you stayed through the whole thing, if this is the first time, welcome. Please do come back. If you are here, haven't been here before, thank you for stopping by. I hope to see you next time.